Om Sri Sai Ram. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of Swami. Sai Ram to all. Invoking the blessings of Swami. Let us continue discussing some points about dynamic parenting. Children should learn from the parents the correct expression of emotions. How to express emotions. Now we usually don't say control the emotions. We have to say manage the emotion. Daniel Goleman's famous book is their emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the capacity to manage your emotions using your intelligence. This is what is lacking in many of the parents today. Now what has happened today is that because of the bombardment of our senses by the media, we are slowly becoming, we have to wonder whether man is being changed, transformed from an intellectual being into an emotional being. Everything we see around is based on emotion. Your advertisements, your culture, your visual media, even today, even the music now today has become something that just to touch your emotions in a negative way. Most of these things are not to stimulate subtle, beautiful emotions, but very sort of aggressive things. That is what we are saying. So one wonders whether now man is getting converted into an emotional being from an intellectual being. Now we cannot see the world outside and how much influence is there on our children emotionally by whatever they see, whatever they hear. Now this has to be balanced at home, where they have to keep an emotional balance. So, and therefore, they have to be very careful. The parents have to be very careful to see that the emotional outbursts do not take place in front of children. And children also should be learned how to manage and how to express their emotion. It is wrong to say, control your emotion. There is nothing like controlling the emotion. It is only managing the emotions and expressing the emotions in a proper, appropriate way. So this is another point where the family dynamics can be filled with the basic human values. Now when we come to love, that's the most important part. Swami says that love is the undercurrent of all values. Swami has given the greatest of importance to love. Very, as universally it is stated as God is love and love is God. But generally this is just repeated just like that, without understanding or without exhibiting this in our thinking, feeling or behavior. The Swami says, love as speech is truth, love as action is right conduct, love as thought is peace, love as understanding is non-violence. Now, what does it mean? Now, love, it is expressed in words. Now, we know that if we have to be absolutely untruthful, if you are fabricating, falsifying things, there cannot be love. Love cannot exist when you falsify. Or when we talk about love, we mean genuine love, not the love that is used in common parlor with a different meaning altogether. Now, when we express love as words, that becomes truth. Because behind every word is a thought. If that thought is filled with love, you cannot utter falsehood, nor the thought, the feeling. Then what comes from the thought is the feeling. Now, if there is a falsifying thought, you cannot have a proper feeling. You cannot have a peaceful feeling at all. Then your action, the behavior, also becomes negative. And therefore, love as speech is truth. So when there is a loving thought in the mind, whatever you utter can be truthful only. Love as action is right conduct. Now we can very easily say, Swami has very beautifully put it. Now, if you are doing a rightful action, there should be a love. There should be love behind it. If there is no love behind a thing, it cannot become a righteous action. Whatever right thing that you do, it has an element of love for something or somebody, either to your child, either to your student, either to a society. Everything, if there is a rightful action, that rightful action, even if it's done for one's own selfish purpose, there is an element of love in that. But when that action becomes adharma, that means that there is a lack of love behind that action. So Swami is very beautifully said that love in action is right conduct, and love as thought is peace. We have already spoken about the emotions and peace. Now, love as thought is peace. Now, when all your thoughts are filled with love, there cannot be any hatred. And if there is no hatred, there cannot be any distress. There cannot be any a lack of peace. So when there is such a lot of love in your thought processes, everything becomes peaceful, very peaceful. Now, love as understanding is non-violence. It's a very beautiful thing. Now, understanding that all beings are like me, understanding that every being has the pain, has joy, as I have, and if that understanding comes, we cannot hate anybody, anything or anybody. See, if a stone hits my leg, if I get pain, I should not throw a stone at a cat or a dog, because I understand that hitting the stone on a leg can give a lot of pain to that dog or a cat. This understanding gives us a lot of love. So if there is love in all the understanding of the entire nature, that becomes non-violence. And nature is God. Nature is God. And Swami has always said that love is God and God is love. Now, expression of love between parents and children. There are two things. Expression of love between the parents. Now, a child grows up. As we have seen, the child records everything that it sees, hears and experiences. So how can child understand what love is? What love is? The child has to give love to others, love to society. It has to understand what love is. Where will it get that understanding? It learns that from home. How father and mother express love to each other. That's an important thing. They learn from the parents' behavior, parents' nature of love as it is expressed. Nature of love, again we come back to the parents' expression of love by thinking, feeling and behaving is imbibed and learned by the child, so that the child learns to give love to others. And love has so many sub-values, cooperation, help, all these things come under the one common name of love. Now the child learns cooperation or helping others, assisting others, sharing things with others. All these qualities which come under the main heading of love, child has to learn seeing how the mother and the father love each other, express the love. If it is not expressed, and if the child doesn't see that, the child cannot understand what love is. So what happens is, it becomes, it develops a very severe sense of insecurity. And when it goes to school, they see a totally different atmosphere, and there is a lot of conflict, a lot of confusion between what is experienced at home and what is experienced in the school. School, they may talk highly about love, etc., etc. The child tries to learn all those things, but when it comes home, when the child sees something totally different, they see that the father and mother, they don't express love to each other, or they are just the opposite of it. So it cannot develop into a very strong personality.